Hi, how's it going? I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian accent Improvisation, and today I had an experience playing, and I was paying attention in what I was doing in my improvise, and I realized that I was using different influences of phrasing in my playing. Um, when I wanted to have more notes, I was using the Choro phrasing because it has more 16th notes in its phrasing. And when I was starting my some improvises, I was using the Samba phrasing that has less notes but more syncopations, more anticipations of 16th notes. So I remind a song that is very important for the Brazilian music. That's Chega de Saudade. Uh, Most of you that lives out of Brazil knows this song as No More Blues. It's jazz players know it from the real book, and but in the real book you can find the introduction. The introduction has a choro melody, a typical choro melody, with texting notes, and it has also an answer in the bass, that represents a seventh string guitar. That, like I said in lives before, it's the bass in choro music. So you can use different influences to create this Brazilian taste in your improvises, like Tom Jobim, our most important composer, made in a lot of it made in some compositions. I'm gonna show these examples I have told you. So when you take the melody of Chega de Saudade, it starts with the introduction with a choro, tasty, choro flavored melody. Sorry for the mistake. So we have an choro influenced melody, and after that we have the melody that we sing with the lyrics. Note that the melody is very spaced. We don't have any 16th notes that are just slower notes, okay? And I would like to say before starting the use of this idea in Improvise, that Chega de Saudade is one milestone in Brazilian music. Chega de Saudade, it's a song that a lot of musicians and composers that lived to hear that music being launched, they consider as a point of change, and because a lot of values in Brazilian music were different in that song. We can say about the instrumentation of Chega de Saudade, because a lot of songs were recorded with orchestras and arrangements, dramatical arrangements, so many strings, and Chega de Saudade was recorded with guitar, acoustic guitar and voice just. And this voice was not common because we had singers in Brazil with great voices. They sang the popular music like opera, in opera style, similar, not equal but similar. And that singer was very different. He has a smooth voice. It was, nobody sang before with that voice. We call here like an antithesis of a singer. That was the voice of João Gilberto. And there were different chords that we didn't hear that chords in Brazilian music made. For example, dominants, substitute dominants, for example, and some four note chords or chords with tensions. They were different of what we were hearing in the Brazilian song, the Brazilian repertoire. So it was a drastic change that influenced all of the composers of that period, and the younger also. All right, we have two. The generation that was creating bossa nova, and the generation that was growing up with bossa nova, that was very influenced by that sound. All right. So returning to this different kinds of phrasing, we can apply the phrase of choro that we heard in any part here of the song. I sometimes think as a climax, because choro has more notes and I can create more a grow part in the solo. Okay. I would give you one as an example. If I would do the melody of the introduction of Chega de Saudade in Samba, and the melody, original melody in Choro, I'm gonna make this mixture. Let me just correct one thing here in my production, and I return to do it. Okay. Wait a minute, please. I'm here. I'm still here. All right. If we do the introduction with the samba like, we will do this way. Besides doing sorry. This is the original introduction and the samba-like melody. And now the thing that's, we have long notes, do with more 60 notes using arpeggio notes. Note that I made the difference, the contrast between the original melody and a Choro melody. And so we can use this when we are improvising in a samba or bossa nova. We can create this, we can use this to create a narrative in our improvise. So I could start my improvise with few notes, like Samba. For example, in this second part, I'm gonna use more phrasing that we find in Choro. This is more Samba because I've used Choro sambado to make the phrasing, but let's return to the phrase. So we can practice this Choro phrasing using, for example, arpeggios. Can use this kind of chromatic approximation. Note that the kind of repeated notes I used, it's different of Samba. In Choro, we can use, for example, it's very common pa 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 pa. And in samba, it's we can find often the this is Choro. So these different repeated notes sound more proper in these different styles. All right. That was one thing I remind also. Some preparations. In Choro, it's very common also in diminished chord. We make arpeggios. We can use true voicing arpeggios if you play an harmonic instrument, alright? But arpeggio is very common, and in a samba we wouldn't find this. Let's compare this phrasing with the original melody. Note that the diminished chord happens here, and we have or and the original nothing. And we don't have a lot of notes that we would have in Choro, like a kind of preparation using the arpeggio. Let me improvise a little more. If I remind some different ideas, I'm gonna talk to you. I remind what I was going to say. For example, there is a melodic resource that Ernesto Nazaré uses that I'm showing in another live, and a quick tip that is starting with a phrase with a syncopation, but with the note out of the chord. So we can use this and change the language. And with these changes you have more resource to 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 interact with your audience hearing. All right, this can be made with also the comping. If you are comping, I was comping today, and we have the original bossa nova. And we can change. Right, so we can change also the climb also to samba, for example. Bossa nova is more cool. I'm changing to more accent on the second and more percussive my right hand. So you can make interchanges between the kind of phrasing, the kind of comping. They are going to sound fresh to who is hearing, because sometimes you can just, if you just use the phrasing of the style you are playing, you're gonna sound boring, okay, because don't have a lot of don't have news to your audience. So this is a way to create this innovation. You are playing. Let me do one more. I'm gonna change sometimes. So you can use this. I I have told this also about Bael and Forró. You can create these changes in the comping and the phrasing. If you are playing with Brazilian musicians, I think they sometimes are. Some of these musicians will realize what you are doing, that you are changing the kind of phrasing, and they can changing also the groove they are doing, the way they are playing. So uh, so this to combine different styles of phrasing, of comping, you can create this a rich way of playing, uh, a rich way of playing the Brazilian roots. That's what I was searching to talk, because you have the original root. So that's it. You can experiment this. Hear Chega de Saudade and try to recognize these differences in melody, and practice these characteristic changes. This thinking in choro phrasing, and thinking in samba or bossa phrasing. All right. So that was it. I hope you have enjoyed, and with these lives and this content, you got be able to improvise in these melodies, this in your improvise. All right. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you for the next lives. Bye bye.